parents. Some of us have shitty parents, and some of us have amazing parents, you know? But in today's episode, we're going to be talking about free range parents versus strict parents. Now, my definition of free range parents are basically parents who let kids do whatever the fuck they want, and strict parents making their kid basically just micromanaging their child, aka controlling every single aspect of their lives. So for me, I feel like I grew up with more of a free range parent, you know, like my mom, she would I say that she let me do whatever the hell I wanted? Yeah. I feel that way. Which is probably why I came out so amazing or so independent, and why I'm just so confident and just making my own decisions. And I guess I'm just jacking myself off right now, but yeah, I'm curious to hear personally my opinion when it comes to free range versus strict parents, just before even hearing their sides of the argument, because I want to compare it to the end of the video. How I feel right now is that when it comes to free range parenting, I don't know, I think that if I had to choose what kind of parent I'd want to be, I'd probably choose being a free range parent. Because as a child, the world is just so new to you, right? And so because the world is just so new to you, and when I say that the world is so new to you, I mean that there are so many things, there's so many rules of society that you are not aware of as a child. And so you just start interacting with it, you know? You just start doing whatever the fuck you want with it, right? And if a strict parent just, like, no, you know, it kind of just makes you afraid to make your own decisions, you know, versus a free range parent, you know, you can get that same sort of response, but one, it won't be as harsh, and two, they teach you, like, they explain to you the rules of society. That's the difference, you know, like, I think that explaining to kids why we can't do, but here's the thing, you also can't reason with kids. So it's like when it comes to free range parents versus strict parents, I think age is important. So right now the age I'm talking about is teenagers, like a tween, okay? So if there's certain rules of society that a child just doesn't understand, I'll say like 10 years old, that's perfect, right? And if you explain it to them, then they'll learn from now on. But if it's just immediate punishment after you make a mistake, it's so fucked up. Because when you're an adult and you make a mistake, like, for the most part, people don't really beat themselves up over it, you know? Like, some do, but we call those people extra. For the most part, if you fuck up, it's like, it is what it is, you know? The next thing is just trying to fix it. But for kids, it's like, if a child messes up, some parents will act like it's the end of the world, or they do the most over their child just making a mistake, you know? Like, at the end of the day, kids are human beings. Kids are gonna make mistakes. So that's how I feel about it when it comes to just parenting, I guess, in general.
As the child grows and as you as a parent train that child, then more freedom should be granted to make their own decisions.
But I don't think we should train our children. I feel like you train a dog and not a kid.
Okay, well, I mean, clearly he meant to, like, teach them or guide them. He obviously didn't mean, like, train, like, literally fucking retarded. Oh my god.
I don't want to train child.
You don't want to train child? Okay.
Okay,
Well,
I do.
What? You know what the fuck he meant.
Maryland parents are accused of child neglect after allowing their two kids to walk home alone from a park about a mile away.
When I was a kid, I used to walk to the park with my friends. You know, we would go to the park and we would play basketball. You know, we would walk around our neighborhoods and yeah, we just play hide and go seek. We'd play in the woods. You know, and we would like around the time the Hunger Games came out, right? So we would pretend that it was the Hunger Games, and we would just we would just do dumb shit. You know, I mean, I understand why people would be worried, because there is a lot of crazy people out there, and at the end of the day, your child's safety is a bit more important than, you know, them hanging out with their friends, I guess, from a parent's point of view. But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, it sucks that there's that risk to a child's, basically a child's freedom. I feel like kids should have the freedom to be themselves, away from their parents. You need like, social skills are important, right?
When you hear the term free range parent, what do you think of?
I see.
Alright, anyways, shut up, Hal. Such an ugly name. When I hear the term free range parent, again, I think that they let kids do whatever the fuck they want. I think of, like, those kids in Walmart, right? And you just see kids just running the fuck around, right? And they're just screaming the mom's head off and whatever. And the mom just looks miserable. They're basically birth control for TikTokers.
A wide range within free range parenting, but parents that basically let their kids do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And I see that as a recipe for disaster.
When I think of a strict parent, I think of someone who might be more concerned with the behavior of the child than the heart of the child.
I actually do consider myself strict, but I want to be emotionally conscious.
We've been told by this oppressive, safety-obsessed, terrified society that you can never let your kids.
This is not even fair. You literally have a professor versus she probably has a bunch of fucking education. She probably has a PhD in something. You have this woman versus just regular every now and then folks.
Kid do anything on their own, maybe till they're like 36.
It's a luxury.
Yeah, I hear on that. Again, a lot of people are afraid to make decisions, or they become super obedient, basically. Where they just listen to what everybody else says, right? And then once they become an adult and it's up to them to make their own decisions, that's when they feel lost and they fall into depression, because all their lives they've just been following this straight line, but it ends, right? And when it ends, it's like, then what?
To be a free range parent, because there is a certain privilege that goes with that.
Being a strict parent, I think.
She's basically saying, look, it's easier to be a free range parent if you're white. That's basically what she's saying.
First of all, I imagine stress. Should be a really fun time of your life. Why follow all these rules when you want to enjoy your kids?
I mean, rules are important though, because again, I don't know. These are people that are going to go out into society. So, it is important to let them know about these rules in society. Where are you guys?
Hi, I'm Hal Chafee. I have 5
Damn. He seemed like the type who would not stop until he had a boy.
kids. I'm a minister, and we live in Maryland.
You look like it, bro.
I'm Christian. I am a birth and postpartum doula, as well as a newborn care specialist. I have one daughter who is 7.
Hi, I'm Jenny Atkins. I have 2 daughters. I'm a health coach, and I wrote a children's healthy cookbook.
Okay. I mean, shit, if you hear, you might as well just get the promotion out. Say the name.
My name's Win. I live in Los Angeles. I have 1 child. I'm a chef,
How old is your kid, though?
restaurateur, author.
I'm
Okay, y'all, okay, we flexing.
Jody, and I'm the CEO
Damn, she never stopped. She said, I will not stop until I have that baby girl. I don't blame you, miss.
of the Madden House.
For me, if I had to choose, if God came up to me, right, and he's like, look, bro, you can only have one gender, boy or girl. Personally, I choose girl any day. Any day. Yeah, we go through some shit, but at least we don't get accused of shit, So thank God, I would definitely have a daughter.
And I have 8 children, and I'm from LA.
Hi to everybody. I'm Lenore Skenazy. I'm the mother of 2, and I founded the book, blog, and movement Free Range Kids.
Okay,
Surprise.
celeb.
I founded the Free Range Kids movement. I let my 9-year-old ride the subway in New York City by himself.
Yeah, couldn't be. Wait, how old was the child? It matters. Let me see. Have to peel off. Well, how old is the kid? I feel like if the kid is a middle school range, then no. Oh wait, 9-year-old. Gosh, Alexa, but oh my. reading is critical, guys. But anyways, 9 years old, ride the subway alone. Couldn't be me, y'all. Could not be me. I mean, look. In a perfect world, should children be able to just ride the subway home alone? You know, in a free world, should they be able to do that? Absolutely. But we don't live in a free world. So I don't know. I wouldn't, like, I get it. I understand that with her child, they are building confidence within themselves, right? But I also feel like that's a little bit too much. For a 9-year-old, that's too much. Like, kids will learn these freedoms, right? But it's like, it's gradually, you know? Like, I can understand if they were like 12 or 15, but 9, that's a little too much.
I wrote a column, and 2 days later I was on the Today Show, MSNBC, Fox News, and NPR defending my parenting style.
You act like it was something ridiculous. You let your 9-year-old ride alone. I don't know, y'all. It couldn't be me. In New York, do you know how crazy people are in New York? They do not give any fucks. You know how many F-bombs I'm dropping? If I was born in New York instead of, like, you know, down south. Well, I'm like, you know, Florida. But if I was born in New York instead of Florida, you know how many more F-bombs there would be in this video? YouTube would have to block this channel. Come on now.
And I started Free Range Kids that weekend as a blog to say, look, I believe in safety. I just don't think that we have to, you know, have a security detail every time we let our kids out of the house.
So can I have my free range parents on the left and my strict parents on the right?
All right.
See you later, free range friends.
Children should be trusted to make their own decisions.
How old? Like, it depends. Like, when we're talking about children, are we talking about teenagers? Okay, so let's assume that they're talking about a 9-year-old, okay? We're basing this off of, like, 7 to 9-year-olds. Because, like, 6 and under, they're not even human beings, in my opinion. I mean, they're human beings, yeah, but, like, they're just... I don't want to say that they're just things. But it's like, who cares, you know? It's like they don't have their own opinions. They can't really think about shit. At 8 to 9 years old, it's when you just become conscious, you know, I feel like. So, should they be trusted with making their own decisions? When I think about this, I'm thinking about my own, like, nephews and nieces and things like that. I think, yeah. I feel like kids, it depends on the kind of decisions, though. That's the thing. It depends on what kind. If it's just like, you know, I don't want to do such and such, I don't want to go to the park, shit like that, or I don't want to do something today, you know, they're feeling some type of way about it, sure. But if it's something serious, like, I don't want to go to school tomorrow, then that's something different. It depends on the age.
So of course children should make their own decisions.
How old?
We're
There's
trying
a
to raise
difference.
them to be responsible adults. If they don't make decisions, they'll never learn.
Yeah.
When my child is possibly going to make a bad decision, what I want to do is not tell him it's a bad decision. I think that's the wrong thing to do, because then ultimately he's probably going to reject that anyway.
Also, it depends on what we're talking about decisions about, like if it's bedtime.
Exactly. Like I feel like that's just such a broad question, because there's so many different type of decisions to make in general. Not, you know, it could be about school, about friends, about just brushing your teeth type shit.
And you
Come
want
up
your
with
kids
better
to be in
questions.
bed at 8 o'clock. I think that is up to you. But I remember a time my son called me, he was 10 at the time, and he said, "Mom, can I have another piece of banana bread?" And I thought, I felt bad, because of course that's a very simple decision. They expected that I was the one to decide almost everything about what they were eating and doing, and I felt like there was something wrong, and that actually started me reevaluating things. And can they climb the tree? Just let them climb the tree.
And what's the worst that can happen? They break an arm?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, they could die, you know? They could fall and break their fucking necks. The fuck?
Oh well.
Oh, couldn't be me, y'all. That could not be me. Shit, I guess I might be going to the dark side. I might be going to the strict parents, y'all, because, like, here's the thing. A kid fall down the tree and, like, break their neck or break their arm, right? Who's paying for that shit? You know, you can't just casually just break your arm. That shit costs bills. You know how much money it costs just to get your mouth cleaned out by the dentist? Alright, I had to get one of my wisdom teeth taken out. Only one. That shit costs $2,000. $2,000 for a teeth, y'all. And only got one. I have 3 more to go.
Well, for my kid specifically, she can go outside and play after school, and she can draw.
Nobody asked.
She can do whatever, but there is a very healthy boundary. Like, we don't have the type of health care that most people have. So, like, no, you can't climb a tree.
Exactly, bro, because if you fall and break your fucking arm, that shit gonna stay broke, because I ain't paying for that shit.
It's
Dumbass.
like, oh, I don't want to play violin anymore. But it's like, you're not allowed to quit things that you start, because
I agree with that. That's another thing. A lot of people are flaky. You know how many people just give up? I mean, I don't know. It's like, yeah, at one point, but she don't want to do it anymore. People change their minds. But at the same time, if you make a decision, you also got to understand the consequences of those decisions. You got to think long term. You can't just pick something up one moment, you know, and then next month you're over it. You know, if you're going to make that big of a decision, you got to understand these are the consequences. So make sure that if you're making this kind of decision, make sure it's something that you really want. But at the same time, that's a kid. They don't think like that. Like, that's unrealistic.
because even as an adult, you become a flaky adult.
Well, you see so many parents nowadays who just like bend to every whim of their child. Children should be trusted to make.
Yeah, I agree. Like, at the end of the day, you are the adult. You're trying to teach them, you know? So there is a cool difference between teaching somebody, guiding them, and whatever, versus just letting them do whatever the fuck they want. Like, yeah, they can make their own decisions. Yeah, you should let them come to their own decisions. But you should also teach them how to make their own decisions. Teach them boundaries. Teach them what's right and what's wrong. And teach them why. Teach them how they could do it, stuff like that.
Make their own decisions when it is wise for them to make their own decisions.
Exactly.
You know, I'm not going to let my 5-year-old decide that he's not going to brush his teeth anymore.
Exactly.
You know, as the child grows and as you as a parent train that child, then more freedom should be granted to make their own decisions.
But I
it
don't
should
think
be
we
a
should
training.
train our children. I feel like you train a dog and not a kid.
Okay, I mean, look, he's not saying that, like, train them how to hit the wall, like how to dab type shit. He's just saying, like, you know, train, teach. Who gives a fuck about the term? What he's saying is, like, you know, just as they grow up, you teach them more, you give them more and more responsibilities, basically.
I think train is a good word.
I don't want a trained child.
Okay, well, I do.
I want
I
a
want
child
my
who
child
has
to be trained,
creativity
to be
and who's
respectful.
maybe not like me.
You know, yeah.
Girl, she sound like she was a former crack addict, or she probably still is. Who knows?
I'm not saying it has to be like me.
Do you think you need to train them to be respectful, or do you
Shut the
think that you guide them in a way
train guide. He used the wrong word. Oh my god.
to learn to be respectful because of the decisions they've chosen?
Both.
So what would you consider your parenting style to be?
I try to be as biblical as I can when it comes to parenting.
Oh.
I know a lot of people would disagree on that.
What does
but
that mean?
I have 5 kids, and I do my best to follow it, and I found so much wisdom, and it's worked.
I don't really follow rules, even if it's a theory
What?
of free-range parenting per se. If you're following those free-range parenting rules, then you become strict. And I don't think that there should be rules. It should be whatever the day brings.
I'm scared to hear things like that. Because, like, yeah, we, you know, in a perfect world, we should be able to do whatever the fuck we want. But we don't live in that perfect world, you know? So she probably grew up as a single child, like, as an only child. Because, I don't know, that kind of mindset is scary. But anyways, guys, time for us to watch an ad. And if you feel some type of way about this ad, pay for my shit. Simple. Until then, we watching the whole ad. Look at my guy. Look at this Lenovo X1 Fold. This is the future, you guys. Y'all, it's ugly. And it's a Windows. You know that Windows 11 coming up soon? Fuck y'all mean. Smarter technology for all. So yeah, y'all don't want to watch that anymore? Pay for my shit. Simple. I'll put my Cash App in the description. Simple. Kids deserve privacy? Absolutely. Leave them the fuck... Well, but there's pedophiles online. Damn it, I said that. But there's bad men and women online, bruh. There's losers online. I'll just call them that. But there's losers online. I don't know. I mean, I feel like if you're a good enough parent, right? I feel like kids should be able to start interacting with the internet at like 10, maybe 10 to 12. You know, and it's like if you're worried that some idiot online is saying, "Hey, I love you," do this, that, and the third. You know, if you're worried that your child is gonna take that bait, then you just, I don't know, you ain't that good of a parent. I feel like, because at the end of the day, your child should be comfortable enough to come to you for certain things, which goes to that whole privacy thing. Privacy is about trust, y'all. All right, your kids are human beings. Okay, everybody deserves privacy. Even a 5-year-old, you know, they deserve some time to be alone. So, you know, they deserve to keep certain things to themselves. You know, you don't have to know every single fucking aspect of their lives. I understand that you want to protect them. I get that. But at the end of the day, you have to remember they are people. That's why I believe in child rights, you guys. Like, it's ridiculous how, if you guys don't know what I mean when I say child rights, I mean that, okay, I'll use this example. A man can beat the fuck out of a child for like an hour, right? So many people are victims of child abuse, right? For example, spanking, you know. So many people, you know, there's some people who consider that abuse or not, whatnot. But at the end of the day, I personally feel like you can't just go out there. Okay, well, I'll say it like this. You're working at a job, right? And you make a mistake, right? It's a severe mistake, right? Your boss can't just go up there and just beat you, you know, to try and teach you a lesson. Or let's even say at school, like for teachers, right? If a child messes up, they can't just beat you. They can't just beat that child. I mean, they used to in the past, but it was wrong, right? It was considered abuse, right? So my thing is, like, I personally feel like it's wrong to... And again, this is coming from somebody who was spanked, you know? And I grew up as a good kid. So even though I was spanked, it was pretty rare, you know? But personally, I feel like if a child doesn't want to be beaten for their mistakes, they should have the right to say no. You know, they shouldn't have to be, basically, there should be some form of protection, you know? And there just isn't that, you know, there isn't one. There isn't like a child hotline. Well, I guess it's 911. But basically, there isn't enough of a safety net for kids when it comes to parents disciplining their children. Because there is for like animals, you know, I'm not saying that animals can like call the police or something like that. But if a parent is caught beating an animal, right? Like, they go to jail, you know? So why is it that when a parent is like doing that to a child... I mean, maybe it's because the child can communicate or whatever. But I don't know. I feel like it's crazy that when, you know, we're just beating up little kids. Little kids don't know any better, you know? If they're being bad, it's probably the parents' fault, I feel like, you know? But that's just how I feel. You know, I'm not saying that parents who beat their kids or monsters or anything like that. There are some parents who do spank people the right way, but there are also some parents who use their anger and also beats their children like that. I don't agree with that. But anyways, do kids deserve privacy? Yes.
Yes.
Oh, wait,
There we go. Oh, wait, we have a straggler.
Even though they're not adults, they're still people, and they need time to either hear their thoughts or process things, or just they need a sense of comfort and solitude.
Absolutely.
And things that are sacred to them.
So I don't have any teenagers yet. There's no way.
Just wait.
Yeah, you can tell. That's what I'm saying. Like, it matters. If you're a teenager, then yes, of course, your child deserves privacy. Even if they're not, I think any kid deserves privacy. That should be a right. You see what I mean? Like, there are just no rights for kids, and it's crazy to me. That's why so many people just end up being fucked over, especially children, like in foster care systems. They can just basically do whatever the fuck they want to a child and face no consequences, you know? It's terrible.
Maybe my opinion will change.
I mean, there's no way that I'm not going to have access to their cell phone. That's not going to happen.
Well, I don't know, like, I feel...
But if they
Whatever.
want time alone, I think that's fine, and they should have that, and it's healthy.
That's not privacy. Like, that's the bare minimum. No, privacy is being able to keep things away from you that you don't know about. Like, but at the same time, it's like, you shouldn't even have to worry about stuff like that. Because if you're a good parent, your child isn't going to worry about keeping things away from you. That's the thing. Like, that's where all these parents, I feel like, fuck up. You know, if you're a good parent, again, you don't have to worry about stuff like that.
Healthy to do that.
Your
The
kids
reason
will do it on their
I hesitate is
own.
because I think back to my childhood. There
Okay.
are things that happen sometimes that can last with you for the rest of your life. You know, people can be abused online now. So when I have that parent spidey sense of something's not right here, and my kid's gonna be like, no, you can't have my cell phone. Yes, I can.
Okay, so it sounds like basically something happened to him as a kid. Maybe it was sexual, maybe it wasn't. But it sounds like it. And so he's saying, look, bro, I don't want my kids going through that. So I'm going to be overly protective, which is what it sounds like. Nothing wrong with being protective, but your child have boundaries. It's okay for your kid to have boundaries and say no to certain things like that. And he's stepping over those boundaries because of those fears, and I get it, but I don't know. I will go to therapy about that.
Yeah.
In our household, we live by this kind of thought. Live your life in such a way that if everyone could see what you're doing in private, that you wouldn't be ashamed. So my kids also look.
That's bullshit. Again, it's unrealistic, guys. Like, we need to stop teaching kids about this La La Land type shit. Because the type of people who have this kind of mindset, I feel like they never executed themselves, okay? Ever. Every single person has skeletons in their closet. Every single person fucks up. And their fuck up can be things that they are absolutely embarrassed to admit. You know, for me, even myself, I have done something as a kid terrible that, you know, I'm not going to admit. Because, again, but it's just everybody has skeletons in their closet. But that's just a part of being human. We are not perfect. Nobody's perfect. So she's basically trying to say, look, bruh, be perfect. That's just all I hear, honestly. Because can you yourself, ma'am, tell the entire world the worst thing you have done? I doubt it.
Look through my phone. Privacy.
Yeah, because there probably ain't shit in there. Probably dry as fuck. Probably no notifications.
It's not something a child should be entitled to have. Do we give our kids quiet
Entitled. Privacy is a right.
downtime? Yes. Am I looking through all their stuff? No.
I actually agree with the definition of downtime and privacy. At my house, there's no privacy because you don't pay any bills.
Well, damn. Okay.
She also trusts me, and I've wanted to make a relationship to where.
Well, shit, though. I mean, okay. Ignore that part, guys. But damn, no, she can't even, like, pee with the door closed? I mean, damn.
She trusts me that even if she came to tell me, like, there's no yell. I don't yell, and I don't scream, and I don't do any things like that. We're very open, but
yeah, but there's probably consequences, right? Like, you beat her ass. Like,
there is no privacy.
So I just wanted to put in a plea, though, for some privacy. You know, I go around and I talk about free-range kids, and sometimes what I ask the audience is to tell me when something did go wrong. And I ask them, did you tell your parents? What do you think they said? No. Why do you think they said it?
Fear.
Fear of what?
Being in trouble. Yeah.
You think it's trouble. They said they didn't want their freedom taken away.
I think it's important, though, that.
It's interesting that she said that. Because, you know, again, I did not get in trouble often when I was a kid. But there was one time when, I was in trouble. You know, there was a time in my life when I was really, really interested in manga, right? And so I would just get a bunch of books, you know, and I would take them to school, and I would just read them all day throughout class. But you know, and you know, every single time I'd always bring all the books back, you know, so that I can then get more and read more and stuff like that. But there was one time where I lost a book. It was lunchtime, and I set the book down next to my food, and I came back and it was gone. Somebody stole the book, and you know, like for the rest of the day, I was just stressed the fuck out, right? And so I didn't tell my mom because I was afraid that I couldn't get those books anymore. And so about a week or so goes by, and those weeks turns into months, and like, you know, it's time for me to turn in the book. And I just made up this dumb lie, you know, that I don't know, I don't remember what the lie was, but basically I made this dumb lie, and y'all, in the end, she ended up owing like $100 to this library, y'all. And I got like the beating of my life over it, you know? And, you know, I look back to that and it's just like, ugh. And, you know, of course, you know, at first she didn't let me, you know, take out any books. And, you know, that started that whole process of, you know, I'm afraid to tell you things because this will happen, you know? Because I won't be able to do it anymore, you know? Because, again, people make mistakes. You know, you make a mistake driving, and, you know, you should be given that time period where, you know, you can't do it immediately after, but to do it never again, I don't agree with that, you know? Because eventually, after a while, after like 6 months to a year to even 5 years, you still have the opportunity to do it again. For some parents, once you fuck up one time, you can do it never again. Thankfully, I didn't have that kind of parent. Thankfully for my mom, she, after I fucked up, you know, after, I would say, 6 months, it was like around my birthday, she let me do it again. And, you know, things were fine after that. It never happened again. But yeah, I agree with that statement, that, a lot of kids are afraid to tell their parents because, yeah, they might get in trouble. But again, underneath that really is, you know, I won't be able to hang out with my friend, or I won't be able to do this, that, or the third anymore.
We hold our children accountable because in the world, there are plenty of adults who are not held accountable.
I mean, I get that part about holding your children accountable, but at the same time, kids aren't perfect, you know? I just feel like there should be some wiggle room.
Who've never been held accountable, and they just do things that are terrible.
But most of childhood is little things, and you don't have to be there for everyone, because that's when kids start realizing, I can handle this.
Exactly. Like, the reason why I am so, I feel like I am a very independent thinker. And the reason why I am that way is because I was just given the freedom to, like, for example, me and my mom and my younger sister, we would always have this thing. We would go to the movies a lot, right? And after the movie, we would all talk about our favorite scene and why and things like that. And I look back and I'm very thankful about those times because it really gave me the freedom to think about what I liked and why I liked about it. You know, it really gave me the time to think. And so I think that privacy is just really important because kids need time to reflect, and they can't reflect if you're just always there and you know everything. You know, there are some things that kids need to just handle on their own. You know, if a kid is not able to handle things on their own, then they'll be afraid to make decisions. They'll be afraid to even have their own opinions because they're afraid of being wrong. And there are so many people out there like that, and I feel sorry for those people. And if you are one of those people, it's not too late. You know, it's never too late to just change one day. Never. Not even if you're old. You know, it's important to try and live the life that you want. You can do it.
When you hear the term free-range parent, what do you think of?
Privilege.
White.
The ability to just do things without any repercussions or consequences. As a black person or a person of color, we sometimes just don't have the privilege to allow our children to be free range.
Basically, bruh, and don't just say black, bruh. Like, I mean, I get it. I get it. like the whole I think she's talking about like the whole police thing. You know, she's like, look, bro, black kids don't get the same now personally, I've never experienced it. I've never experienced being in trouble, especially with the law. It's just there's no reason for me to. I've never like I have a good I know like a cop or two, you know. I live in a good neighborhood, stuff like that. But I get what she's saying, but I don't think it like applies to like just black people. I think it's just broke people who just live in broke neighborhoods because, you know, high crime rate, things like that. But, you know, I get what she's saying. Black people can't get away with the same stuff that other races do, or they get punished severely harder for it, and so they can't afford to make those kinds of mistakes.
Although I would love for her to be free spirited and just do and be, she can't because black kids get murdered in the street.
I don't know how what I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. About saying that, I don't know. I lived, when I was a kid, like from a baby till about 11 years old, I lived in you know, people considered, but not even considered, I lived in a very bad neighborhood, very bad town, city in Florida. And, you know, high crime rates, things like that. You know, like, for example, I was 10 years old and it was time for me to go to middle school, right? And the summer before I was supposed to go, you know, so I graduated elementary school, going to middle school. A girl ended up stabbing, like, another girl on the bus, 6th graders, over a boy, right? And so it freaked my mom out. And so she sent me to like this private school, this white private school in like some other city that I don't even remember. Things like that. And you know, I feel like so I'm saying that because I'm saying that I get it. I understand why she's saying that. Some kids, if you're innocent, some kids basically they can't afford to be innocent because there's other people out here in the world that are also children where you can just lose your life, unfortunately, just by being innocent and free. So I get that. But at the same time, I'm also thankful that my mom never took it there. You know, I'm thankful that after that situation, I was still allowed to like play with my friends outside because those are moments that I still cherish today at 20. You know, I cherish it. Those moments as a kid is what helped me become a leader, you know, because again, it made me feel confident in the words that I say and the things that I do. And I just, I feel bad for her daughter. I feel bad for the mom. You know, again, I get it. But damn, there has to be at least a balance, you know. It can't just be, the world isn't black and white, so your child's life shouldn't have to be either. Not saying she's a bad parent, because I'm not a parent either. So anything I'm saying, take it with a grain of salt. I'm not a parent. I don't know what it's like to, on a day-to-day, 24-hour basis, constantly care and worry for your child and make sure they're on the right path. But what I am saying is that, just speaking from my own experiences as that child, I'm grateful that that my parent, because I only grew up with one parent, just my mom. So I'm thankful that my mom allowed me to have that freedom, despite the world being so cold and terrible. I'm grateful that she just allowed me to be a child, which is, I guess, is basically where I'm coming at. You know, kids should have the right to be kids. You know. That shouldn't be a privilege. That should be a right for kids to not have to worry about adult problems. You understand what I mean? So I feel bad for some kids like that.
Parents and not friends.
I agree with this. Parents should be parents, not friends. At the end of the day, you're here to teach your child. You know, you're not here to befriend them. Well, I mean, it's good to have that balance. Again, your kids should like you, but you, at the end of the day, parents should be parents and not friends because respect. You think that parents should not be friends? I mean, you think that parents should be... Okay. I mean, I guess I understand why some people think otherwise, that your kid should also be your friend, I guess, in a way. I mean, it's like, yeah, I guess they should, but at the end of the day, you're always going to be their parent, you know? And when it's time for that child to go to bed, it's time for them to go to bed, you know? It's like, it's the thing that people say when you say that you can't be friends with your boss, you know? Because at the end of the day, despite how cool you guys may be, you know, when he tell you what to do, you gotta fucking do it. So basically, you guys are not on equal playing field. You know, that's why you can't do that whole friend stuff, because it's one-sided. And that's when that child begins to build resentment for you towards it. So that's why it's important to establish that boundary. So, you know, yeah, you should be able to be friendly with your child, of course. But there should always be that level of respect for that person as well.
No, this is a hard.
And vice versa. Parents should also respect their child, right? Like you brought them into the world, not vice versa. Okay? They did not ask to be here. You wanted them here. Don't treat them like a fucking slave, you know?
This is actually hard for me. My job is not to be my kid's friend; it's to be their parent. But I don't think that is mutually exclusive of not being their friend either, if that makes any sense. But I prioritize, right?
Exactly.
Parental unit.
Me and my mom, I would say that she's my best friend. But like as a child, she was my mom. And I hope to have that type of relationship with my daughter. But right now, I'm the parent and you're the child, because I don't want you to lose respect for me. Like, I'm not gonna go clubbing with my daughter. Like, there's just some things that I'm just not gonna do, that I do with my friends, that I'm not gonna do with my kid.
I don't know about the clubbing part. I mean, I've never heard of somebody going to the club with their parent. I think that's kind of weird. Do I agree with that? I don't know. I would never go clubbing with my parent, but I don't know. That's just weird.
I agree.
Would you guys go clubbing with your parents? You know, would you guys go to like a cool party or whatever with your parent?
That I'm their mom first, but I'm also their friend. I'm also someone that they trust and admire, and they come to, and I listen to them and I give them my opinions, and we have forged a friendship, but it's not without my position as the authority in their life, their provider, their comfort, their mama.
In my mind, once my kids are 18, or let's just say moved out of the house, they are an adult. And at that point, I want to stop parenting. If I haven't parented enough by the time they're 18, then that was my chance. I don't want to be a parent after 18.
Well, damn. I mean, shit. For me, I'm 20 years old right now, you know, and despite how, you know, I'm a 4.0 college student, stuff like that. I have my own job, work 40 hours a week, so I have a full-time job, stuff like that. But despite all that, you know, and, you know, I'm told I'm very mature for my age, things like that. You know, as people say, I have maturity in 40s and whatever. But again, despite all of that, you know, I still need my parent around, because being an adult it's like a fish out of water situation. You know, there's gonna be times when you need your parent for guidance, and so I feel sad to hear that, for knowing that she has 2 daughters. I feel sorry for that, from those girls hearing that, because as an adult, you know, despite being 18, yeah, legally you're an adult, but you know, as they say, the brain does not fully develop until 25, and so they're gonna still need their parent for shit like that, like how to do taxes, and what's my social, and how do I get a car, you know, things like that. That I just think that's you know, getting your first place again. That just sounds sad. Like, damn, those poor kids.
And when it comes to clubbing, I hope that when my kid is old and grown up and they're going out for a beer at a bar or whatever they're doing, of course I want to come with them.
Here's the thing, I just want to say on the other side of that is that we never stop growing up. I mean, man, I don't have parents. I wish I did. There's some times where I wish I could just ask for help. I mean, my grandmother just passed away in May. And I remember like just feeling like, what am I gonna do? And that was not a friend moment. That was me hiding like a little child on her lap, weeping and crying and needing that.
You,
I guess
you
I
are
don't
gonna
want
do
that.
No, you're gonna.
Damn. Yeah, again, exactly what she's saying. Like, there are some times when, even when you are grown and you grown adult, or whatever, I don't think being 18 is a grown adult. I don't even think being 20 is a grown adult. But I agree with her that there are just some times when even you when you are an adult, like my mom, she's 50s right now. There are some times in her moment in her life when she calls her dad, and she still asks him for advice. So you're being a parent. Again, I'm not a parent, so I'm not going to speak from the perspective of a parent, I guess. But being a child of a parent, and, seeing my mom, who is a parent, you're always going to need your parent. You're always going to need that person in your corner for however long they may be there for. Having that parent, as that woman was saying, is a privilege. So if your parent you feel like is a good parent, if for the most part, despite them, they may be hard on you now, but there's a reason why a lot of people do end up appreciating their parents long term, because at the end of the day, they just want the best for you. Once you're an adult, you're going to realize that at the very most, there's like 5, 10 to 20 people max in this world that would die for you. And as you get older, those numbers start to grow. I mean, no, not grow at all. They start to shrink to like maybe 2 or 3 at the very most. Alright? 1 at the minimum if you're lucky. So, yeah, I think that, I hope that she changes her mind, because that's a lot. Like, that should,
If your kid comes to you, I'm sure you will.
Of course. I guess I just
You
want
will.
this.
Right.
I want them to be very independent.
Why?
Be
Strong.
very
I don't want
independent.
them to feel-
She's super
Yeah,
independent.
for sure.
With your own mother, do you have a mother? And if you do you ever just need your mama sometimes? Do you ever just...
Not really.
You don't need to like...
no, bro. She probably didn't fuck with her mom, it sounds like. It sounds like when she was 16, she basically did whatever the fuck she wanted.
get hugged or
From
have like
I
the
speak
love
to
and
her like
comfort?
she's my friend
Okay.
now, and I think I spoke to her as my friend when I was growing up as well, because she didn't parent. I had no rules.
And that's so that
Well, shit, I guess we get... I mean, and that's another thing when it comes to parenting. A lot of when it comes to parenting is literally just based off of your previous parent, That's literally where it mostly came off of, So we won't do everything that the parent did right, because at the end of the day, despite how perfect of a parent you have, sometimes they mess up, And all we can do is learn from their mistakes so that we can be better for the next child of mine, for our legacy.
that explains a lot. When you talk about your philosophy, it's really a first-hand account where maybe some of the rest of us are like exploring how we might want to parent.
Basically, she's closed-minded. She's very closed-minded because of her own personal experiences, and I'm not saying that she's not valid for them. At the end of the day, we all have our own experiences. Just because hers are different from the rest of ours doesn't mean that she's wrong, Like, okay, like, I wouldn't dismiss it, but, also be open-minded. You could also be wrong, ma'am.
Right, but we all raise our children probably according to a little bit of how we were raised.
What we know,
Yeah.
what we wished had been different,
Yeah.
and then there's so many societal influences.
Absolutely what I was saying, yeah. Why they all stealing the shit I'm saying, y'all? I don't know.
You mentioned before you were kind of facing everything on your own if you didn't have parents.
Are you a foster kid?
That has shaped the way that you parent.
Growing up without the security of knowing who I was
Damn.
and knowing that I was dearly loved and cherished by my mother and father was soul crushing for me. As a mother, I have the opportunity to raise up a new generation of healthy, whole individuals who are able to go forth and create new families of their own and be a light in this world. And that's really what my hope is of my children.
Man, Shirley seems like a wholesome person. You know, for me, I only grew up with one parent. You know, it was my mom. I ain't grow up with a dad. Like, you know, my dad isn't dead or anything like that. He just, basically what happened is, well, shall I just say it? Basically, bro, he burned our house down, right? Right? He burned our house down because, yeah, because reasons happened. So he burned the house down, and, he tried to keep me and my younger sister away from my mom and and my older brother and sister, right? And so after that, there was like a case. He lost the case, and so after losing us, he went to California and, he started his own family. And so the first time I ever saw my dad, not person, I've never really seen him in person before. Well, despite maybe being a baby, but despite that, I've never seen him in person like that. So the first time I ever saw him was like a mugshot, when he was. It was like some DUI, I think. He was arrested. That was the first time I saw him. And so I get what she's saying when it comes to that whole part of not knowing that you are loved and cherished. You know it, but it's only one half. You only get half of that because again, your mom is my mom. She had to work a lot because he wasn't there, and so she had to work twice as hard to make income. And so sometimes when she was gone, it's like I had that freedom. But other times I also felt like, damn, like, she's gone so much. Does she care about me? That's how it felt. And, that went away because she spent a lot of time with me. She always made time for us. Always. And, I look back at that and I really appreciate it. But, yeah, I feel her on that when it comes to sometimes not having parents in your life. Whether they're working all the time or they just choose not to be there. That's important.
Spanking your child is an acceptable form of punishment.
I feel like this question is always going to be up to debate, y'all. Even I go back and forth with it. Because, for me, I didn't have to be spanked that often. I feel like when it comes to certain things that I did as a child, I feel like it didn't have to, I feel like the response did not always have to be spankings, but for other kids, bro, y'all be bad as hell, so I get it.
What? I don't.
If y'all don't shut the fuck up, what is wrong with y'all? People have the right to think whatever the fuck they want to think. Like, people have to think like you.
Want to get involved at all?
Yeah.
Really? With an opinion? What do you think you're gonna do? Uppercut you? If you don't speak your mind?
We have to.
Yeah.
I don't even want to.
Bitch, okay. Not y'all being scared. Bunch of pussy. I'm
Stand
sorry.
back here.
Well, we don't have to. You guys don't have to participate in the conversation whatsoever.
Yeah.
But is it going to show our position, like standing back or sitting?
Yeah.
We do see you guys in the background, but we just want to hear his perspective.
Yes.
Then people can walk forward, but if you don't want to participate in the conversation whatsoever, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, so I'm kind of sad.
Well, damn. Yo. I mean, I don't know. Spanking is so controversial because, again, it's like every single child is different, right? And so because every single child is different, so is the response to that child's behavior, right? And so with some kids, sometimes the only thing to do is just to spank them. But there are also some kids who grow up and feel like, like me, like, maybe that wasn't the right kind of response I needed. And so that's why it's always so 50-50, because in society, a lot of people are just, spanking is normalized for some people, or some cultures and things like that. So people look at you crazy when you don't want to spank your kid. But I don't know, like, people should be able to do whatever the fuck they want, vice versa. As long as he's not trying to abuse them, like, that's the thing. Again, some parents, they spank your kids, but they do it from a very, from an emotional place. That's why it leaves a lot of scarring memories on the kid. But, personally for me, there are some moments where I'm like, thank you for spanking me. Because as a kid, again, there's some things you just can't make logical sense of as a kid. There's so many, like, hoops and hurdles you have to make. Like, that's why some certain things you have to be an adult to deal with when it comes to making decisions. Because as a child, you won't get it. No matter how hard you try, you will never understand it until you go through those personal experiences yourself. But I don't know, I'm kind of sad to see that some people are just afraid to just speak their opinion on parents that do spank their kids. Like, if you don't agree with them, then fuck it, say why. Why be afraid?
And that nobody else walked forward, because not only do I think it's an acceptable form of punishment, but I think it's one of the best. And the reason is because it's effective, it's quick, it's over, it's done, and the kid can go off and play again. And
I don't know, I feel like it's lazy though. But again, it literally depends on the age. It depends on the age, but I don't know, I feel like it's lazy.
not have to sit in a corner or languish in a room or something like that. And it's not about getting angry, I'm mad, I'm gonna whack my kid. No, it's about, okay, you did something you weren't supposed to do, and you're going to get spanked for this.
So I'm going to ask any of my disagreeers who wish to step forward to talk about this.
Bunch of little pussies.
If you wish not to step forward, you don't have to.
Damn, even you, Miss Free Range
Parent. I have is for my child is one time, like, you know, as a parent, you can lose your patience, and that happens. We would just kind of like slap him on the hand when he did something, like, don't do that, don't do that. And I remember one time he did something, and he started becoming more self-aware, and he started hitting himself on the hand and hitting himself. And I was like, I can't do this. We can't go down this path with him. This is.
I'm sorry. It's not funny. But like, imagine you see somebody making a mistake, right? And they just full on just slap themselves in the face. Like, God, you fucking idiot. And look, some people do this, you know? Some people, like, even I do this myself, you know? Sometimes when I make a mistake, I'm like, oh, I'm retarded. You know, that's just some shit I say subconsciously out loud. So, you know, I am laughing at him, but, you know, I don't hit myself, but yeah, some people, they do this, you know. Some people really harp on their mistakes. And I think that we just need to chill out when it comes to that, making mistakes, but people are not perfect, and that includes ourselves.
It's not going to work for, at least specifically for him. And I think it's a case-by-case basis too. Like, you know, you've led your kids in a way that hopefully he doesn't lash out into the real world. I don't want him to react like that to someone else either, and I just feel like that's my responsibility. So. Yeah,
and you know, I hear that opponents to spanking will say, I don't want my child to be violent.
Yeah.
You know, I have 5 kids, 10 and under, and the exact opposite is true.
Because do you think it's a bad memory for them?
What's that?
Do you think that they're going to have memories of these times being spanked and that?
Personally, I don't really have any memories, honestly, of me being spanked. I think I only have like 1 or 2 at the very most. But for the most part, I don't have really any memories of me being spanked. But, you know.
It will be
sure, and I think they'll be thankful for it. I would do, because I
would be lying if I said I never have spanked my child. Of course, but I don't feel good about it. Yeah. Don't you want to raise?
I mean, no parent feels good about it. No parent wants to, like, you know, do that kind of stuff. They do it because they want the best for their kid. They, you know, I feel like some parents, you know, they spank their kids with, at least for the most part, I feel like most parents spank their kids with good intentions. I feel like they're not doing it because they just want to see their child just in pain. I feel like they do it because, again, they want the best for their kid. They want them to make the best decisions. Not because they're in the home, but in the real world. Because, again, accountability. Some of your actions can lead to jail. And you don't want to see that for your child. You want to see the best for your child. So yeah.
Your child to not want to do things because they feel as if they'll be a better person, not because they're going to be punished for it?
Yeah, both. See, this is hard for me to understand because I come from...
See, I agree with that. For me, I'm a very, for me, I do most things. Most of the things I do is because I feel like it's the right thing to do. Such as, like, me accidentally clicking a button, right? And it goes off the screen and I put it back on there. The reason why I leave stuff like that in the video is because I feel like it's the right thing to do. I feel like making a mistake and showing those mistakes, you know, and then just going back to normal. I feel like those things, you know, it's okay. It's okay to make a mistake and go back to how things are, you know? So, yeah, that's how I feel.
From a culture where everyone Like, all my friends have loving parents that spanked them as kids, and now they've grown.
Okay, but I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. But basically what I was saying is that I do the right things because, you know, it's just how I am. I come across decisions where if I do the bad thing, you know, I can get rewarded. You know, like, I could be a dick, right? And I could just start roasting people on their looks and, you know, just basically be a bully. You know, I could do that, and or go on to trending videos and things like that. But I don't do that because, one, you know, that's not what's interesting to me. But two, it's not the right thing. Like, and I feel like I feel like that part of people is rare nowadays. I feel like there are a lot of selfish people that discard the right thing to do for their own advantage. Not a lot of people have that. And so I agree with her whole thing of, like, you know, there are some kids out there who don't do something because, you know, they don't get or also get punished. For example, like murder. Like, there shouldn't be a law in place in order for you to not want to kill somebody, you know? Like, it's illegal, yeah, but there shouldn't have to be a law. You know, like, you should just not want to do it because it's the right thing to do.
Grown up to be great, well-functional adults who respect their parents and are glad their parents spanked them.
Okay, I'm just gonna say my view. So
I already know what she's gonna say. Look, bruh, I'm a Negro. Like, to me, the only thing she could say that would make sense is, look, bruh, I am a Negro, and I feel like spanking my kids, that's some master stuff, bruh. The slavery times, master stuff. And you may hear this and think, bruh, you're mocking her. If she did say that, which she might not. But if she does, and you may be thinking, damn, that's mocking her. The reason why I mock it is because I feel like your kid don't know that shit, you know? Like, they don't know about slavery. I don't know, I just feel like that's a lot, you know? That is a lot to... But whatever. If that's her reason, who cares?
I don't
if
think
it is
my
her
child
reason.
won because of chattel slavery.
Damn it, I fucking said it. Look, guys, I'm so smart.
And Jim Crow. I'm a black person, and I live in a world where black people are beaten all the time. I have a mother who spanked me. I'm not glad that I was spanked. I respect her, but I'm not happy about that. Also, the same thing with the people who are like, I was spanked, I came out great. They usually have, like, anger issues, they're violent, they whip their own kids, they probably need therapy. Usually they don't.
Hey, bruh, I ain't violent, you know? I ain't angry, you know? I mean, shit, do I sound angry to y'all? Look, I'm not violent, I feel like. I'm not angry, so...
don't even realize how emotionally fucked up they are.
Well, you gotta understand, parenting is more than just I spank or I don't spank. If you're a terrible parent and you think that spanking is gonna fix your kid, you're wrong.
I sometimes fear I am raising my children the wrong way.
Everybody should walk forward. Oh, wow. That's okay.
I think part of parenting is a...
Okay, I mean, hey, respect to y'all. If y'all stand 10 toes deep down in how y'all feel, all I can do is respect it, you know? But I don't know, bro. I feel like we all make mistakes, even as parents. We are all human beings at the end of the day. We're not gonna always do the right thing. We try our best, but sometimes our best isn't the right or the best decision, so.
Always worrying.
Yeah.
I mean, as hard as I try to do the right things, you know, there's always doubts in your mind that you've done something wrong.
I love to tell parents, especially new ones, that we're all winging it. We're making mistakes every day, but the good thing about it is that our kids still love us.
I don't know about that, bro. There are some kids where, like, you know, a child will be nice to a parent for as long as they're living with them, right? But the second they are gone, some people are just gone forever, bro. They never look back. They move to another state or another country. They delete their parents' numbers, right? Like, they just never talk to them ever again, right? So they won't always love you for it, you know. Depending on what you do, they won't always love you.
Still look at us like mommy and their
Or
eyes.
friend. Right.
Yeah, for only so young, for only so long, until they're teenagers.
Right. Club buddy.
Right. So, like, parenting is literally just like one huge ass experiment.
That's a nice expression.
You know,
parenting is one huge ass experiment.
Yes.
People think that I have the answer because I wrote Free Range Kids and I run this Let Grow, and all I can say is that believing in your kids, you know, believing in them, whether you give them a timeout or you're spanking them, believing that your kids have this capacity for being a decent human being, and they're going to make mistakes, they're going to be okay. That's what kids want.
So, first of all, I think that parents are too hard on themselves. And you know what? Ultimately, your children...
Well, he follows the Bible, so he's going to be like, bruh, God is not fucking wrong, so no.
Going to make their own decisions. For me, I don't wonder about whether or not I'm raising my kids right, because I try to raise my kids according to what the Bible says.
I told y'all.
And so I have a guide that I fall short fulfilling all the time, but I look to it as my guide. And so just a few simple guidelines, if you follow and you love your kids, you care about them, and you spend time with them, then ultimately they're going to be okay.
I just love my kids so much, and I give them 110%. One of the neat things that I'm giving my kids that's a little bit different is a mother and father who are married and faithful to one another, which I didn't have that. And so
I guess, but I don't know.
It makes me feel really good that I'm giving them that. I know that I'll never just be totally set in my ways and be
Damn, so your man got money, bruh. Cause 8 fucking kids? How old them kids are? Cause you don't look that old, miss. I don't really see like I see some gray hairs, but you can tell these are all, I don't know. She probably got 1 kid in middle school, but that's it.
I'm willing to change and to become a better mother. So I will never give up growing myself.
The one piece of parenting advice I give everyone is don't listen to all the advice, because the beautiful thing about parenting is not what you're teaching your child, but sometimes what you're learning with your child.
I think we all just want the same things. Everybody wants their children to be confident and secure in their love.
It's just a lot of fun to have kids. And I always tell people, I said, if you want to be a happier person, have more kids, because kids are just so much fun.
Fuck is this video? Bro, what is this? 6 bisexuals versus 1 secret straight person. Maybe we'll check that out next time. But yeah, man. On that note, in the beginning of the video, I gave my thoughts about what free range parents are versus strict. And after watching this video, I realized that I don't know. I feel like they're all pretty similar, except for the one lady who's like, I want to go clubbing with my kids. She's probably like on the very end of the spectrum when it comes to free range parents. But for the most part, I feel like free range and strict parents they're pretty similar. I think they all have the same wants for their child, and they just go about it differently. But they all want the best for their kids. I think they're all good parents. Or they're, at least from what we've seen from this 19-minute video. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I had a lot of fun watching this video. And if you did too, give it a thumbs up and comment down below, what kind of parent do you have? Do you have a free-range parent, or do you have a strict parent, or, in between? And if it is in between, then, tell us what it's like. For me, after listening to both sides, I feel like I have more of a free-range parent for the most part. Yeah, I did get a spanking here and there, but for the most part, I had the kind of parent I had compared to all these people here is like the woman in this cardigan, the white woman in the cardigan, like the 8 kids. My mom, she's a very emotional, caring kind of parent, but she's still rational. But yeah, man, hope you guys have a great day or night. Bye.